This is the final nail in the coffin for my relevance as a commentator on modern games. My favourite new release of 2022 was Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Dig the grave and kick me in. Kirby is something I kind of deny to myself, because there's so much Kirby that I don't really feel aligned with. The lore, the Fox Kids series, the all too frequently humdrum platformers, the dork shit. The stuff I can't imagine HAL Laboratory endorsing, let alone making. But when I see tacky Kirby merchandise aimed at those who might never have even played a video game, I don't feel that disassociation. To me, Kirby is a simple joy, something you don't have to know about, but you just like. It's an invitation into video games. These are fun, try them. It's primal. It reminds me why I love video games. That simple, unpretentious fun is why Dreamland 1 and Pinball Land are tied for my favourite game in the series. Now with Forgotten Land, there's some competition for them. Sometimes I feel so attuned to a new game that I get suspicious. Nintendo and HAL Laboratory saw me listing my copy of Star Allies on eBay and started drawing up plans to win me back. We've got Kirby exploring a post-human Earth, a vocal theme in a made-up language, a theme park level, big crocodile enemies that pop up and snap at you, a dodge roll, a Wild West level where Kirby paraglides through a desert canyon, a gyro-based minigame that casts back to tilt and tumble, a pleasant hub world that expands and gets nicer the further you go, a fucking Resident Evil 2 Scenario B homage. I couldn't believe what they had made for me. I'm getting ahead of myself clearly, but it's hard to look back at this game without tripping over myself remembering all the things that made me happy. What's absolutely crucial is that they've approached 3D Kirby as a challenge and really pushed themselves to get it right. Every time I've seen the Kirby fanbase opine for their Mario 64, I've felt ever more distant from them. That just wouldn't work. Kirby is ambivalent to level geometry. If he can go anywhere, there's just not a game anymore. Take that away from him, and that's not Kirby. What HAL have come up with is almost akin to scrolling beat 'em up. It works here because they've engineered it to make sure the player is always king. If a hit looked like it landed, well, it landed. Kirby wins, and when Kirby wins, the player wins. The thing is, the game is solid. They're aware of the older, sterner Kirby audience. There's genuine challenge here, and you don't have to dig far to find it. There's optional BR missions, well, perhaps the PAL special missions terminology is more appropriate for Kirby, between levels, and the provided top times are properly tough. The later parts of the game give casual players a dozen opportunities to tap out and declare that they finished Kirby. But there's a new struggle at the other side of each one, ramping up to a ludicrous degree. Those old NOA ads about one tough cream puff have finally paid off. Forgotten Land has great fun just being a platformer. You get the standard tropical level, ice level, fire level, etc. But they're explored so richly by HAL's artists, and with the camera positioning, lighting and overall presentation, they really shine on the screen. It's a game that looks like concept art. It's the best looking game HAL have ever made, and that's not a statement you can make lightly. There's a statement I came across recently that I don't think is terribly fashionable, but it's one I strongly agree with. Sometimes creators reiterate on concepts throughout their lives, not because they've run out of ideas, but because they haven't fully expressed it. There's a great joy to see people pick up ideas they introduced in their earliest work and decades later really gain the knowledge and confidence to present that more eloquently to their audience. To me, when game developers do that, it's one of the most cathartic joys I can have as a long-time fan. That was Breath of the Wild, The Last Guardian and MGS5's Hellbound mission. Something that feels like what people dreamt of when they first played the original. We live in the future now. Our Kirby game is brilliant.